ABC Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. Again, we're going to be at it with the cheapy records. Everybody loves a cheap record, don't they? I know I do. I bought these, continuing on, I bought these at the woman who was downsizing and selling me her records for $2 a piece. There's a stack of them here. Let's get going. I didn't really need this, but I wasn't going to leave it behind. It's Rolling Stones, Made in the Shade. It's a compilation. Kind of in typical Rolling Stones fashion, or either record label fashion, and they don't have any regard for their fans at all because they don't add a bonus track or an outtake or anything like that. This is just a moneymaker for the label and for the Stones. Anyways, Brown Sugar, Tumbling Dice, Happy, Dance Little Sister, Wild Horses, Angie, Bitch, It's Only Rock and Roll, Do 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 Do, Heartbreaker, and Rip This Joint. Add that to my Stones collection. Next up, John Clemmer album. It's called Brasilia. John Clemmer is kind of a soft jazz saxophonist. I've got a couple of his records. They're what I call Sunday morning brunch music. They're not very demanding to listen to, very pleasant. Looks like he's doing Brazilian music, of course, as the title implies. I love Brazilian music, so I'll give this one a listen and see how it works out. If not, I've got a friend who's a big John Clemmer fan, and maybe I'll just gift it to him. Next up, George Benson, Beyond the Blue Horizon. It's a when did we record this record? I didn't even know, 1971, thank you. But he's got George Benson on guitar, of course, Ron Carter on bass, drums, Jack DeJohnette, the great Miles Davis drummer, organ, Clarence Palmer, and percussion, Michael Cameron and Albert Nicholson. Of course, this is on CTI Records, distributed by RCA, I think, at the time. A&M used to distribute CTI, but I guess they got a new distributor. But this is a nice album. George Benson doesn't get very many compliments. I don't think everybody thinks he's more of a pop guitarist, but he's a brilliant jazz guitar player. He's smoking. I love George Benson. Really happy to have this one. This is in great condition. Like I said, it is on the traditional CTI label. Bob Bradley's doing a great series on CTI releases. Should check him out. He's doing it all summer. Doing a fine job. Next up, Donna Summer. Another Donna Summer record. Love to Love You Baby. This is the one where she just knocked it out of the park. Became a superstar after she released this one. Love to Love You Baby takes up the whole of side one. Fantastic record. I wasn't a disco fan then, but more of a disco fan now. I don't even like to call it disco because it's such a disrespectful word. An R&B album. Next up, Charles Mingus, another jazz record on Atlantic Records. This is numbered SD 1700. This is a reissue of sorry, I don't have the year on there, 1977. Is that true? Yeah, because it's got to be a reissue because it's got this it's a Canadian pressing. It's got the little Canadian maple leaf on that. I don't think they started doing that until the 80s. But he's got guests on here like Philip Catherine, George Coleman, Larry Coryell, Sonny Fortune, Jimmy Rolls, John Schofield, Ricky Ford, Rob Nellums, Danny Richmond, Jack Walrath. So really, really clean copy, beautiful condition. Charles Mingus. Picked up another copy of Blood on the Tracks. Again, you cannot have too many copies of this one. Maybe I would say one of his top 5 records for sure, if not number 2. But I love this record. It's not got a lot of ringware. The record itself is in good shape. Yeah, either this will be an upgrade from mine or I'll gift it away. This is an album. This is a comp album called New Africa. It's got cuts by Mandingo, Manu Dibango, Fela Kuti, Torakunda, and Torakunda. So there are 6 tracks in all, and this is on Celluloid Records. Nothing fancy there, but another addition to my my world African music collection. Looking forward to listening to this. It's called New Africa. Picked up another copy of The Pleasure Principle, Gary Newman. Airplane, Metal, Complex Films, Me, Tracks, Observer, Conversation, Cars, the big hit Cars. This is a great record. I've got, this is my third copy. I gave a copy away to my son. I've got a nice copy here. This is another nice copy. So again, I'll just have a double, or I'll give it away. Gary Newman. I can't leave those records behind for somebody else. I know that they're going to go to a good home, either my place or somebody else's place. Joan Baez, this is a 1960, it's got to be a 1964 record, I think. It's called Farewell Angelina. It is on Vanguard. It's a mono issue. It's got the red Vanguard issue. It's got a nice laminated cover. Joan has got a fantastic voice. She's been at the forefront of the folk music scene since the early 60s. She covers a number of Bob Dylan songs here. Farewell Angelina, Daddy, You've Been on My Mind, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. And that is all that, no, and she finishes off with A Hard Rain's Going to Fall. Record's in nice condition, nice laminated cover. Joan Baez. Next up, the Earl Scruggs Review. It's on CBS, 1975. It's on the 360 Columbia label, but the guest artists on here like Joan Baez, Bonnie Bramlett, David Briggs, Kenny Buttrey, Johnny Cash, Leonard Cohen, Ron Cornelius, Charlie Daniels, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, Dan Fogelberg, Larry Gatlin, Willie Hall, Billy Joel, Bob Johnson, Jim Keltner, Doug Kershaw, Alvin Lee, Ken Loggins, Roger McGuinn, Jim Cena, and Mirabai. It's like the whole music industry played on this record. He's a wonderful banjo player, bluegrass player. Seems like a lot of people want to play with him. It's called Anniversary Special, Earl Scruggs Review. I never thought I'd get one of this guy's records, but this was in really nice condition, and maybe it's time for me to stop making fun of Phil Collins. This is actually a pretty good record. It is face value. He sold, what, 50 million of these? I'm joking, he didn't sell 50 million, but he sold a lot. He was all over the place, in the movies, in solo projects, in Genesis, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of got a little sick of him, but he's actually a good musician and a good singer. I'm going to reevaluate him. But, and for $2, okay, I'll take it. Next up, Pentangle, traditional English folk music, Bert Jansch. There's a lot of Bert Jansch fans out there. He is playing guitar with them. Jack Miche is doing vocals. It's the old lineup here. I think it's Nigel Portman Smith, Jerry Conway, and Rod Clements. This is a 1982. I don't have the date, but it is an 80s album. It's on green linnet. I don't know if you can see that. Pentangle. I am a big Pentangle fan. It's called So Early in the Spring. Mint, $2. Next up, Toots and the Maytals, Funky Kingston. I've been looking for this record for a long time. It's on Island Records. It's a VG Plus copy. It's autographed by Jean, the woman who that I bought the collection from. Thanks, Jean. Great songs on here. Of course, reggae band, seminal reggae band. Time Tough, In the Dark, Funky Kingston, Love Is Gonna Let Me Down, Louie, Pomp and Pride, Got to Be There, Country Road, John Denver song, Pressure Drop, and Sailing On. This is a re-release, actually, and they've added a few songs on here. The original album only had, I think, 8 cuts or 7 cuts on it. And they re-released this and added Pressure Drop and a couple of other songs. Pressure Drop in the wake of the movie's popularity, the Jimmy Cliff movie. But this is a great record. Yeah, it's a must for almost anybody's collection. If you like reggae, you have to have some Toots and the Maytals in your collection. Funky Kingston. My first Kate Bush album. This is Never Forever, her 1980 release. I played this the other day. This is outstanding. I don't know why I don't have any other Kate Bush records. Now they're pretty expensive now. She's a very, very trendy artist. Gatefold, lovely. It's on Harvest Records with a custom label. Kate Bush, fantastic cover as well. Artwork is great. Carole King music. This is the music album was released after Tapestry was released, so it only sold 1.3 million copies in the first 2 months of its release, and that was considered a poor outing for her compared to how many records she sold for Tapestry. I think Tapestry was on the charts for about 5 years. Must have sold at least 15 to 20 million records. This is a beautiful record. I played it the other night. Great voice, great pianist, great writer. All originals. Purple Rain. I did not think I was going to find a Prince album because they're hard to come by these days. And when they do, they're very, very pricey. This is, I think, is this an original? I'm not sure. It's a pretty early pressing, but it's in great condition. It's got the custom label on Warner Brothers. Released in 1984. The movie. Well, Prince is not much of an actor. I mean, he does his best acting on the stage when he's performing. That's all I can say about that. Great record. Not a bad cut on this record. It's fantastic. Another kind of joke band I've never owned this record before, but it's Iron Butterfly, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Kind of the stoner's delight. It's not in terribly great condition, but it is. If it's not the first Canadian press, it's close to it. It's on the Yellow Atco label. Me and a few friends, we used to listen to this when we were about 16 or 17 and indulging in whatever. This was on the turntable a lot, along with the Doors' first record. I think this was released in 1968. Yeah. Whatever happened to these guys? Can you name these guys? If you're a real music fan, you can, but everybody knows the name Iron Butterfly, but I don't think there's too many people that can name the members of the band. Pentangle's 1970 release. I don't know if this is their first record, but it's amongst the first. Again, like I said, I'm a Pentangle fan. Unfortunately, the information on the jacket is not that great, but it's in mint condition. Not in mint condition. It's VG++. A little bit of wear there. $2. It's called Cruel Sister. Bert Jantz, great guitar player. Jackie McShea, great singer. Traditional English folk music. This is not my first U2 record, but it is maybe my second. Was this their first record? I think it was. It's called October. It's on Island Records. It is on Island Records, like I said. On the light blue release. It looks like that's an original. The songs. Gloria, I Fall Down, I Threw a Brick, Through a Window, Rejoice, Fire, Tomorrow, October, With a Shout, Stranger in a Strange Land, Scarlet, Is That All? And I used to be a U2 fan. I just didn't have any of the records, but I used to like them in the early days. And before Bono started telling everybody that he knew how to, I don't know, started preaching to everybody about things. I'd stick to the music, Bono. You're a great singer. No need to go beyond that. U2, October. Another African artist, and this is Ali Farka Touré. And the album is called 8 Songs from the Legendary Singer from Mali. He is a guitarist from Mali. He's been around for a long, long time. This is a mint copy. It's on World Circuit. Amazing how these small labels. As you can see, it's in mint. I've washed all these, so I know the condition inside and out. Looking forward to listening to that one. And some old standards that were in there as well. I have a copy of Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, Volume 2. There's a couple of songs on here that were not released on albums up to this point. Let's see. The Mighty Quinn, I think. Oh, and Watching the River Flow. Watching the River Flow is such a great song. I don't know why that was never released on an album. That was fantastic. But it's great to have this added to my Bob Dylan collection. I probably never play it when I want to listen to a Bob Dylan record. I just put the album on. I don't bother with the greatest hits. Same with this little band here. I've got the red Beatles 62 to 66. And I've got the blue 67 to 1970. The covers are very, very well loved. The inners are still there, barely. So they were taped up, but they're still in the record. And the records are actually in pretty good condition, considering that they were probably played about 1 million times. They play just fine. Happy to have these to add them to my collection. Again, their spines are, kind of beat up, chewed up, but just goes to show that Beatles records are, they were not there to sit on a shelf and be looked at. They were there to be played. So, there you go. That's all. I am still away as you're watching this. Please comment. I am going to be answering my comments. I'm going to be reading my email. They do have Wi-Fi in Europe. They have running water and everything. It's pretty civilized. So please send me a comment. Give me a like. Sub me up if you want. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.